Hi, thanks everyone for coming out. Unfortunately, maybe for all of us, the only thing that's even vaguely interesting about me is where I spent the last 4 years of my life. I went to a small college in an old tobacco town in central North Carolina. It's a place known mostly for its internationally renowned lemur center and its controversial and undoubtedly polarizing weight loss clinic, and of course its exemplary educational offerings in Microsoft Office, particularly in the field of PowerPoint presentations. Now, believe it or not, and it's probably not very hard to believe, this school was once the subject of one of the 2 poems that I've ever written in my life. It was a rhyming limerick. It was called "I Want to Be a Cameron Crazy When I Grow Up." The other poem was an ode to the University of Connecticut point guard Khalid El-Amin. And when I did in fact grow up and found myself in freshman orientation at Duke, I was most anxious for my first game in Cameron Indoor Stadium. It just so happened to be a friendly exhibition between the women's basketball national teams of the United States and Australia. "Oh man, you haven't lived till you've seen a game in Cameron," I probably told people afterward. But really it was then that I started to realize that aspiring in adulthood to be a Cameron crazy wasn't quite reaching for the stars. I would eventually learn that it was possible, and preferable even, to be a fan without smearing my face in blue paint, or jumping up and down in one place for 4 hours, or chanting things in unison like, "Let's get hungry, clap, 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 clap." It became clear in the next few years that I would appreciate standing across from these bobbing masses of diehards, most of whom don't actually know a four corners offense from a rhombus. So what is it exactly about these good-natured dweebs that makes them so tiresome? Well, to start, there was the freshman wearing a shirt so blindingly orange that the color couldn't possibly exist in nature, standing in the front row with a cell phone to his ear, waving like he was deserted with Tyler Hansbrough when the ball crossed midcourt every single time. There are the 20 students nominally in charge of Shashevskyville, the pop-up tent village outside the arena. These people are called line monitors. They wear blue track jackets and they puff out their chests because they're entrusted with the slightest bit of jurisdiction over nothing but a strip of grass. Their constituency includes the craziest of the crazies, those in Tent 1. They set up camp in December and sleep out every night for a basketball game in March. These are the people who complain when the temperature hits 20 degrees, not because it's 20 degrees, but because they want to spend the night outside, and instead they've been told to go home and don't catch pneumonia. Once they're inside, these people are responsible for that short clipped burst of cheering about 45 minutes before every game. So loud and unexpected that you wonder if the NCAA has given Grant Hill another year of eligibility. Really though, it's just a WRAL cameraman asking for some intro footage, and a couple of rows of fans all too happy to oblige. It was because of all of this that after my freshman year, I watched a home game from the Cameron Crazy section just once, when my line monitor pal, the type who gave away all of their very, very covert secrets, sneaked me into the front row right at game time. I tried to stand as tall as possible, and it was fun, it was fine, it was, you know, the best part of the game was probably the burrito I had afterwards. And so for the next game, my last as a student, I waited in line for hours and sprinted to the other side of the arena, to the so-called non-TV side, to the seats everyone else had passed over. Never had I felt so blissfully distanced from people standing just the width of a basketball court away. Thanks. And Joe Drape is next.